Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to provide all of you with the characters that I use on a daily basis and World Boss. These are not the characters that I use in PvP. These are not the characters that I use in Squad Battle. These are just the characters that I mainly use in World Boss, just for the most part. Now, this list of characters is not really all the best characters for the available options in World Boss because I just don't have certain tier 3s, so I don't get to use those characters really. If they were a tier 3, I would, and I'll definitely give them some honorable mentions, but let's just start from left to right. So Apocalypse is definitely one of those characters that I use on a daily basis. I use him for Ebony to do one-shots with Deadpool and Dazzler on the team. He's an excellent character, tons of survivability. But I can use him against Call as well for one-shots. Hulk here, unfortunately, I don't really use him that much. Every once in a great while, I might use him against Proxima because he's really tanky. He doesn't die. But it takes the fight, about 3 minutes to do. And I'd rather do one-shots against Proxima because I'm under time restraints a lot of times. So it kind of sucks because he's my favorite character in Marvel. But I really don't play him very much. He really has a lot more PvP usefulness in my opinion. Mr. Fantastic I do use on a daily basis if I'm facing Proxima and Corvus because he's just absolutely insane. I can team him up with White Fox. I can put Nimrod on the team. And I can do some pretty insane clears with this guy. I mean, he can do stage 99s doing that kind of crap. Easy peasy with him. Namor is another character that I use on a daily basis. This guy can one-shot he can one-shot Proxima, he can one-shot Cole, Thanos. I mean, he can just one-shot all freaking day. Takes a few times against Thanos, but he can definitely do it, which is nice. So he's definitely one of my go-tos as far as the one-shot clears. Captain America, I really don't use. I mainly use him just for a one-shot team, having him and Taskmaster on the team. Unfortunately, I just don't use him. Although he can put in some work, I just don't ever use him for that. I just prefer doing those one-shots. And he could probably do the one-shots, but I just kind of stick to these other methods because when you have Captain America and Taskmaster on the team, it's just easy to do one-shots when you put a damage dealer in there. Wolverine, I never play Wolverine. Sharon Rogers, I use her definitely whenever I'm playing against Call and Thanos. And that's pretty much about it. I really don't use her for anything else. Cyclops, unfortunately, he's just a leadership. I don't really use him for anything else, which is kind of a shame. Doctor Strange, major World Boss go-to guy, especially against Cole, Ebony, even Thanos, to be perfectly honest. I mean, with the new uniform, he just can put in some serious work. He's really one of my go-tos, even though I really can't stand playing this guy because, it's a spam fest. And I just hate characters where you play like that. And, I mean, I love Doctor Strange, but that's the thing I don't like. But I can't deny his power. Iron Man, he's one of them characters that every once in a while I'll use because he still is good. And since I only do world bosses up to stage 50, he easily can plow through Cole. He can do the one-shots against Thanos. He's just a great character, guys. I mean, honestly, I can do stage 50 Thanos with this guy fairly consistently as long as he's got a CTP of Rage. With the Destruction, no, probably not. He definitely needs the Rage to shine. Magneto, unfortunately, I don't really use him. And by the way, some of these characters you definitely can use. Magneto's great. You can use him in Call. You can use certain characters in World Boss that are still going to do really well. It's just I prefer to use other characters because I just have better luck with doing more damage at faster rates. I'm always trying to do them damn one-shots. And Magneto actually can do pretty well if you throw in an all debuff effect leadership with Nimrod on the team. But honestly, when it comes to the Trinity method, you can pretty much make a lot of these characters shine. Star-Lord here. Star-Lord I actually use on a regular basis against Call, against Ebony. He actually does really well. He's a real damage dealing monster, especially with an all debuff effect leadership. Black Widow, unfortunately, she's just a PvP girl. And I just want to make something, just let y'all know that I am excluding the Mutant World Bosses. I don't play them. The rewards in the Mutant World Bosses are just feathers and what have you. And that's not good enough. I don't need these crystals. I don't need the feathers. I don't need this crap. I need BAM. And there is no BAM in here. So I don't play these bosses at all. So the list that I'm giving you is really just for these world bosses over here. Deadpool, number 1 for world boss, except for Thanos. I use her religiously because she's just insane. You know, the holiday Deadpool uniform really is the most powerful, strongest uniform for world boss in the game, hands down. There is no comparing her to any character in this game when it comes to doing high levels of world boss, except for against Thanos. She's just numero freaking uno. Luna, I actually don't play Luna much at all. In fact, I don't even use her except for mainly ABX and Ebony, and that's really about it. I like using her for Ebony because she does have the charm, plus she deals cold damage. She's amazing for him. She's really great against other world bosses as well. She can actually do decent against a lot of world bosses. She's a monster. But really just ABX and Ebony, and that's about it. I really don't like playing her. She's really fragile, and that's something I don't like about the character, even though she has heals on 3 different skills. Quicksilver is a character that I use once in a while, mainly against Corvus, because of his passive, having the ignore target dodge rate with a CTP of energy. He just has the, 83% ignore dodge. He's pretty great for Corvus, even for Proxima. So I do use him regularly. Winter Soldier, I don't use at all because he's just fragile. Black Bolt, I actually do one-shots with Black Bolt religiously against Cole, against Ebony. I do one-shots all the time with him, so I use him on a regular basis. Captain Marvel, I don't use her very much at all. Mainly, if I do use her, I just use her against Ebony. That's about it because she has the Ignore iframe on her 4th skill, and this thing is so sweet when you're facing Ebony. Jean Grey, mainly just PvP. I don't use her hardly at all. Odin, I would use Odin because Odin's an absolute monster, but this guy's 5th skill just causes the game to lag, and it causes the game to crash on the emulator. So I don't like playing him. I actually can't stand playing Odin because of that, and that's the only reason I don't play him. Silver Surfer here. I do use Silver Surfer on a regular basis. I have a CTP of Rage on him. I do use him in World Boss, actually. Big time. I mean, you can use him because he has Ignore iframe his 3rd skill for Ebony. Use him against Cole. Thanos, I never use. Just ABX and PvP. Thor, unfortunately, Thor doesn't get no love, which is a sad shame. Moon Knight, definitely going to be using him on a regular basis. Actually, Moon Knight, the Awakened characters, all 3 of these Awakened characters, I use pretty much on a regular basis. Moon Knight, I haven't quite been using him so much because we just got him awakened and been fighting Ebony, trying to get them universal books. So I haven't been using him, but definitely for like maybe clears against Proxima, maybe I would use him then. But the thing is, I do one-shots already without him. So I don't really know how often I'm going to be playing him, to be perfectly honest, except for an ABX. Now, Dr. Octopus here, I actually use for one-shots, and maybe I'll switch Moon Knight for him for doing one-shots. Who knows? I mean, they both can definitely do it. But currently, I use Dr. Octopus for one-shots against Proxima all the time. But really just against Proxima. But definitely he's good against Corvus because he has a speed type, and he won't have a type and he won't take a 50% reduction against Corvus because of that. Beta Ray, I use Beta Ray pretty much religiously. If I'm facing Ebony and Cole, I use him for one-shots. For Thanos, for one-shots. Medusa actually can do one-shots, but I don't have her really built for them, and that's why I don't use her for them. And the rest of these characters pretty much are just, I just mainly use them in Shadowland. I don't really use them. Even Cable here, who's an absolute monster, in his Summer Days uniform, I don't use him except for mainly in ABX. Not that he can't do World Boss. Absolutely he can. Not that Gambit can't do it. I mean, I only do stage 50s. Lots of these characters can do it. But I'm always trying the one-shots and just getting things done as quickly as possible. Now, a couple honorable mentions would be, if I had Professor X and I had Scarlet Witch at Tier 3, these 2 would be on my daily regulars. Absolutely. And the same with Storm. I would probably have all 3 of those on my regulars because they are all insanely freaking good for PvE, insanely strong, and can do super well. I mean, Professor X and Scarlet, when it comes to world boss, because of their mind control or mind blast, whatever you want to call it, they just keep world bosses locked down. It's just easy to beat them. And for the mutant world bosses, I think these two are two of the best there is in the game because of that reason. But Storm, her damage is just bonkers at tier 3. I really wish I had all 3 of those characters at tier 3. Unfortunately, all these other characters I mainly just use in Shadowlands. So I know I didn't mention quite a few tier 3s, and that's because I just don't have them and I'm not using them. If I had Dormammu tier 3, I'd probably use him on a regular basis, you know, but who knows? I mean, Magneto's super strong, but I really don't use him. You know, Iron Man can do good levels of world boss, but I don't really use him that much. But I will say against Thanos, the one-shots, he really is awesome if I have a CTP of Rage on him, you know. Same with Sharon Rogers, amazing against Thanos for the one-shots. But those are just some of the characters that I use on a regular basis against World Boss. So let me know in the comments what characters you're using for World Boss, what characters you like to prioritize. Oh yeah, and I can't forget Mystique. I use Mystique actually on a regular basis as well because of her freaking Awaken skill. It's just nuts. The all defense down, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about it many a times. She can do one-shots as well against Proxima. She's another one of my go-tos. So that's a list. So that's all the characters that I tend to use in World Boss on a regular basis for the most part. I mean, obviously I'm going to play with other characters, but those are the ones I religiously use on a day-to-day basis depending on which World Boss I'm facing. So let me know in the comments which characters you like to use in PvE game modes, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.